Hey, okay, today's the 2nd of January 2020, and this is a special request, so it's like a custom tin whistle tutorial for Joe, who was on the group Tin Whistle Penny Whistle resource. So this is really rough and ready, but and I'm in my pajamas, so excuse the informality. But Joe's request was because of some minor learning differences. She finds it difficult to read music from the page or tabs while learning the tin whistle. I can totally understand that. I was very lucky to take a music teaching course recently, and one thing they emphasized there was that everybody learns music differently. You could be a visual learner, you might be an auditory learner primarily, or you might be, a physical learner. And in fact, everybody's a combination of all those things. So, to get right onto it, Joe, I believe you wanted to learn actually some sort of English singer-songwriter folk music. Huge disclaimer: I actually didn't know the band Show of Hands at all, so my apologies. I grew up playing traditional Irish music, and just from a quick search on the internet learned that Show of Hands is a group from Devon, and they're very highly decorated Devonshire folk group. Joe had two suggestions up there, and the one that I'm going to run through now is called Are We All Right? And the reason I picked that one is it can be played in the key of D, which is the most common type of tin whistle or penny whistle that can be sort of readily bought, although you can buy tin whistles in different keys. So essentially anything that's going to be in the key of D, G, or sometimes A, you're not going to have too much of a difficult time to do that on a tin whistle, which is in the key of D, meaning that the bottom note is D. So the thing about this is, again, I'm familiar with traditional Irish music, and the first thing you want to think about is what's the form or the overall structure of the music. This is actually a song, so it's most traditional dance music, let's say in Ireland, from what I've learned, is it typically is a type of music with an A part which is repeated and a B part which is repeated, so it goes A, B, B. This is actually quite different, so again, I'm letting you into my ignorance, but from what I have heard of the recording of this song, just from Spotify and YouTube, it's basically one or two verses, a bridge, and then a chorus and a kind of a variation on the chorus. So I'll put a link in the comments about which kind of YouTube video I referred to in order to do this. So that's the first thing. What's the form? Because that's going to help you remember how it's structured as you're chunking the different bits of it to learn. The second is, I'm getting a little old school here, but I have a metronome, which is a TikTok metronome. So when I listen to the recording, that's how fast the band is playing it. And that's about 126 beats. And then to nerd out even further, I actually paid today to renew my subscription of Sibelius, which is a note-taking software. So because I have never heard this song before, I actually went through the whole thing and, ironically, wrote it out in notation. And that's simply because, even though we're not going to be looking at the notation now, one, I don't want to violate any copyright, so this is my own arrangement for Tin Whistle from the band. And also, sometimes reading music is just a lot easier if you don't have any clue how the song goes. Memorizing music lasts a lot longer, but it can take a long time. So that being said, let's just do some chunks of this piece. And again, it's a song called Are We All Right? So I'm gonna see if I can show you what I've done here. We're not gonna do the whole thing at once, but let's go to the play section. I'm just gonna play the audio for this. One last disclaimer is, if you want this to sound cool, you need to find a guitar player, a piano player, or like a harp player, anyone who can do chords, because this is just going to be the naked melody, and that's all that we can do on the whistle. We can only do one note at a time, obviously. So here's the first section. Again, no chords or anything. Oh, is that going to work? 1 second. Let's go to the beginning and hit play. Okay, so that's the first chunk. And again, when you're learning something by ear, you just want to, you're not trying to entertain your adult brain, you're just playing the piece of music over and over again so you can memorize it. So here's chunk number 1, and I'll put the time on this video, it'll be kind of long, so I'll put the time of each chunk in the comments as well. So the beginning starts on a G, and it's going to go like this. Okay, so again it's going to go. Okay, that's the first 4 bars, and you can just play that over and over again until you are comfortable. Now, you'll notice on the words "or right in the clouds," because I'm assuming you know this song, I skipped up to the higher octave, and that's because we only have 2 octaves on the whistle. So even though the singer goes down low to a low C sharp on that, we can't reach that with the octave that we're working with. So again, starts on a G. Okay, now there are 4 more bars until you get to the chorus. So here's how they go. Okay, so the good news there is there are not that many notes. So this is actually a piece of music that melodically is very simple, but rhythmically is really kind of complex and syncopated. So again, assuming, Joe, that you know the song, it goes, "I had a moment's fear, you can put to flight, just reassure me that we're all right." So this is chunk number 2. Okay, chunk number 2 again. Okay, now we get to the chorus. And I'm gonna show this to you now. The chorus goes, "Are we all right? Are we still strong? We got one last chance, don't get it wrong." So that's the next chunk number 3. That's how this goes. Okay, so it gets a little bit more melodically complex here. So starts with "Are we all right?" starts on an F. Okay, that's chunk number 3. Again, starts the chorus. Okay, now we have the second half of the chorus where the guy really starts to rock out and he goes up to the high octave. So again, if you're a beginner, this is the second of the 2 octaves. You just don't necessarily blow harder, you blow faster air through the whistle. So here's what it sounds like. The words are, "I will hold my breath, I will count to 10. When I open my eyes, I will ask again." Sounds like good relationship skills. So here's the next 4 measures. Okay, so that's the second half of the chorus. So you're going to go up to a high G. So starts with I will hold my breath. Okay, it's nighttime, so I'm not going to repeat that because I have neighbors, but that's chunk number 4. Okay, now we get to the bridge, I think, because, again, I'm not a singer-songwriter, so I don't actually know. But, okay, the bridge. The lyrics are, so don't make me beg, don't make me plead, leave me with some dignity. Again, sounds like pretty good advice. So you're going back down to the lower octave, and here's what that sounds like. Okay, so that's your next chunk, and you can just practice this chunk a bunch of times as well. So it's in a low D. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. This is the beginning of the bridge. Okay, next is the second chunk of the bridge. The lyrics are, I'll stay cool and calm tonight. I need to know if we're still alright. Okay, here's how it goes. Oh, wait, it's running off now. I'm backing up. Okay, 1 second. Because that part's kind of tricky. We're only going to do, I'll stay cool and calm tonight, but I need to know if we're still alright. So here's how it goes on the whistle. Don't worry, at the end I'll play the whole thing. So, starts on a B. Chunk 2 of the bridge. Okay, again. Okay, now I think we're into chunk 3 of the bridge. The lyrics are, oh, it won't take much to turn black to white. So here's how this sounds. Oh yeah, okay. Cool and calm tonight. I need to know if we are still alright. Okay, here's the next chunk. Okay, so it's, oh, it won't take much to turn black to white. So. Okay, again, that's the next chunk of the bridge. Okay, now I gotta scroll over here on my computer. Oh yes, and then the next bit goes. It's okay that we split that out because that's kind of a tricky measure. So this measure is called one gentle touch. So it kind of wraps up the bridge. It's the last measure of the bridge. So it goes one gentle touch. Starts on a B. Okay, cool. So again, I'm going to put timestamps on all these so you can go back to it, and then we'll go through the whole thing at the end because it's kind of long. Here, he splices the second half of the chorus on to the end of the bridge, so it's like bridge plus. So the lyrics are, I've been awake for hours, I want to sleep tonight, darling tell me, are we alright? Sounds like a crazy fight. So here's one gentle touch, and then kind of like post-bridge. Okay, so post bridge, again, I'm only going to play once because it's in the higher octave and it's 11:30. So starts on a high G for I want to sleep tonight. Oh, I've been awake for hours. Okay. Okay. The next section is a solo. So this is 8 bars of guitar solo, but you can kind of do whatever you want. So I suggest you can do a riff here for 8 bars. And again, I should have mentioned this is in 4/4, so it's 8 measures of that metronome ticking 4 bars. Okay, then we get to the chorus again. This is like your strategic walkthrough. Okay, so the chorus is, are we all right? Are we still strong? We got one last chance, don't get it wrong. And then he goes back up to the high bit. I've been awake for hours, I want to sleep tonight. Darling, tell me, are we all right? So that is what this sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to try that whole chunk together. You can probably play it back on recording. So this is the whole chorus all together. First low octave, then the high octave. Okay, and then we're getting toward the end. Now he does some jazzy stuff at the end and gets all emotional. And like, the lyrics are, all we all right? Are we all right? Oh, reassure me. Won't you reassure me? Oh, reassure me that we're all right. So I'll play the very end for you. We'll get jazzy and then I'll play the whole thing. So here's the end. Okay, that's the last chunk. So this is sort of like post-chorus, and it's the kind of super emotional bit toward the end. So he's saying, I've been awake for hours, I want to sleep tonight, darling, tell me, are we all right? So here we go. Okay, that's your piece by piece tutorial. It took 20 minutes, but let's just do it from the start. Again, this is pretty rough and ready, but what I would suggest is, I'm not sure where you're located, but basically find a whistle teacher in person. That's always going to be a lot easier if you can. Or if you can't do it now or for whatever reason, you know, try this on the internet, but then find somebody face to face. You could easily get a whole month, especially if somebody's in the beginning to intermediate stage. You could work on this for 1 to 2 months. There's plenty of stuff in here to learn. There's things about the octaves, all the different notes, and especially the rhythm. So the melody is sometimes quite simple. That's the case in a lot of pop songs, but the rhythm on this is actually pretty complex. So anyway, thanks. This was a fun opportunity. I'm doing my own electronic page turns here, so we're going to do a little bit slower. so you can follow along. So it starts at the beginning with the lyric, "You don't need to cry." Okay. And then we're coming to the chorus. That was the first verse. Chorus here. Okay, now the bridge. Again, scrolling down. This is So Don't Make Me Beg. Okay, then this is the kind of like post bridge. Okay, now you get 8 measures of a solo, whatever you want to do. Okay, now we do the full chorus. Now we get to the emotional bit at the end. Are we all right? Oh, reassure me. Won't you reassure me? Oh, reassure me, definitely. The final, are we all right? Hopefully my neighbors don't kill me. Have a nice day. Bye.